2, 1.
Awesome, guys. Welcome to another album review with Onbeat Off Script. My name is Brandito. I'm joined by my co-host Mel and special guest Garrett, also known as TipsyTune, who has an album that was set to release
Yay!
3 days ago, but has not technically been released yet.
So I'm just going to talk about other people's albums. Thanks for having me on my album release weekend. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt. We just wanted to promote it just a little bit more on a different music channel beforehand. We got the exclusive pre-release interview that was 3 days after it was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing having a real eye-opening experience on how albums are supposed to be released. So, yeah, it's great.
Love it. Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're talking about music. We're going to dive into the albums here and kind of go over them. A couple of awesome ones because it's Labor Day long weekend, we decided to do a shorter than usual recording. Just some people have lives like, Mel and Garrett and Bob and Rose who weren't able to join us and stuff like that today. Some people have lives where they can't just spend the whole time listening to and talking about music. I don't have a life, so
that is life.
You act like you weren't just at the lake yesterday. You had fun things to do too, sir.
Let's be real. Like, I still listened to 6 albums while I was just driving to and from. So, I'm an insane person. Not everybody can operate with that same kind of attitude towards everything. But yeah, so a couple of great albums. We got Laufey, who dropped A Matter of Time. We're going to discuss that in some detail. And then we've got the highly anticipated follow-up to Short and Sweet release by Sabrina Carpenter with Man's Best Friend. But we'll get into those in just a second. We're going to start everything off with Laufey, though. With A Matter of Time. Laufey, Lynn being Jons, I think it's Jonsdottir. I have no idea. I probably absolutely butchered it because it's Icelandic and I don't know how to speak Icelandic even at all. But known by her stage name as Laufey, is an Icelandic singer-songwriter and multi-instrumentalist. She started learning the piano at the age of 4 and then the cello at the age of 8, leading to her performing as a soloist with the Iceland Symphony Orchestra at the age of 15 in 2014. That same year, she performed in the Icelandic version of the Got Talent shows, where she finished as a finalist. And then the following year in 2014, she went on to The Voice Iceland, where she finished as a semi-finalist and the youngest competitor in the series history. I think that includes all of the other versions of The Voice. I think she was the youngest person in all of The Voice's history across the globe, which is kind of cool. She then proceeded to graduate from Reykjavik College of Music in 2018, where she also studied singing, and then proceeded to move to Berkeley on a presidential scholarship and graduated in 2021. All that music background finally came through with her debut single released in 2020, followed by her first EP in 2021, Typical of Me, to solid praise, especially some of her rendition work. She also built a following covering traditional jazz standards on TikTok. Finally, her debut album, Everything I Know About Love, was released to critical and popular acclaim, peaking at number 1 on the New Artist Album chart. Her sophomore album, Bewitched, was dropped in 2023, which again was critically really well received, won her the Grammy for Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album in the same year, and was a personal top 10 album of myself. So pretty big praise coming from somebody who knows their thing about music,
This guy. Pretty good, big praise for yourself.
Her sound is a really eclectic combination of a lot of classical training mixed with influences of female jazz artists like Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday, but finds a lot more of kind of a bedroom pop, chamber pop sort of style to apply to those classic and jazz influences. She was also named one of Time's Women of the Year for being attributed very much with the sort of neo-jazz revival with Gen Z specifically. There's just not very many people that are making jazz music or care about jazz music. She's making people who never would have cared about jazz music care about it. And I think Time actually gave her some pretty solid praise for that, obviously. It's a genre that, has struggled to see really any commercial success. So seeing somebody actually have commercial success with it, it's exciting for a lot of people. I'm a big jazz person. That was specifically I was trained jazz, blues and jazz and stuff. For me, seeing somebody who's making jazz popular again is exciting. It works really well. It's something that I'm really, really proud to see somebody doing. A Matter of Time is her third studio album, and sets out to trailblaze independent from her previous 2 albums, which really took a lot of inspiration from the Great American Songbook. If you don't know what the Great American Songbook is, it's an old jazz standard collection, basically of American jazz and blues music that kind of was all just compiled over a series of decades, right? And kind of, she was really bad for just kind of writing like lovesick songs. So instead she wants to move to somewhere where it's a little bit more mature, adds a lot more humanity to her project, and show off some more vulnerable sides than, you know, the conventional love songs, and to be more out there and kind of explore some more diverse themes. But yeah, that's the segue into A Matter of Time. Before we get into the album, do you guys have anything that you guys wanted to say? What were your thoughts before diving into the album? Do you know who Laufey is? Have you liked Laufey's previous work? Tell me about your thoughts before we go into the track by track.
I mean, I'll tell you how I liked your bio. I just learned so much about her in a few seconds, and I'm impressed. I feel like she might think that the movie Eurovision Fire Saga was written about her at a certain point, like her pre-story. She's got
quite
a pretty good resume, though.
Yeah.
That's impressive. And getting people excited about jazz is almost kind of like an oxymoron. Excited about jazz is interesting, but
I couldn't disagree with you more. But anyway,
well, no, I'm not hating. Just jazz is
being excited about jazz is a great thing.
Yeah, well, no, that can be, but it's just like a very
but jazz and
not excitable music. You know what I mean?
The vibe of excitement just don't go hand in hand. Not like
I can just so disagree with that too.
Well, I'm saying you put rock next to blues. Which one's the more like? What if you had to put the word excitement just in the genre? I think it goes towards like a rock, you know, not a blues, because blues is more like calming and
not blues, but jazz. I would.
Blues, jazz, that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Gershwin made some incredibly manic, exciting. Anyways, we're not going to fight about jazz. We'll fight about Laufey.
We'll fight about this. Yeah, we'll fight about Laufey. Finally, I came here for a fight. The singles, we didn't fight at all.
I didn't know who Laufey was. I knew that Brandito was really excited to cover this album.
Yes.
And I was excited to listen. That's all
I have. And then we'll find out how we all felt about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go song by song here because it goes from highs to lows with me here.
100%. I think we're actually probably not going to fight as much as you think we're going to fight. So
very disappointed.
Things will go well there. But so the whole thing starts with Clockwork. It's kind of a little bit of a classic kind of her sound to start everything off, but let's give it a listen. Why don't we listen to it instead of talk about it for just a moment, and then we can talk about it afterwards. Let's do that.
I know I'm dramatic, but I caved in at his touch. I want him forever. Oh my God, I've said too much. My head's a wild place. I've considered every way. Words I'll forget, deeply regret. I'll run away, and nothing brings me fear like meeting with my destiny. But good God, I think he fell in love. Tick-tock and I fell in love too. Like clockwork, I fell in love with you.
That was such a hard cutoff.
I know. I was waiting for it.
I'm pretty sure that was the time. Normally I have more time to spend with the song clips, and I will because yours is usually like an ish, and I usually listen out. Today I wasn't listening out. I was like, clock.
It very rarely ends directly on the second. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I need to give you just kind of like
an ish
in a second.
I'm usually better at judging it myself, but sorry.
So this is a very Laufey introduction to Laufey. Like this is like if you were wanting to if you listen through Bewitched, like this is very similar to what she is. It's a very typical opening. Her timelessly classic kind of crooner vocals right away. Short and sweet songs, which I kind of really appreciate about her too. This is very Disney-esque, I think, compared to a lot of her other stuff. And we're going to talk about that a lot because Mel and I were already talking about it before we even hit record. We were already talking about the word Disney might come up multiple times.
A lot, yeah.
I don't have it for this song though.
Well, the ding-dongs alone make it very theatrical to me.
Yeah.
This felt like maybe a Disney, like a Christmas movie. Like that's kind of vibe I got from this, but I'm gonna chalk that up to I don't know like a pop jazz that well. But it felt very when it opened up. I was like, "Is this a Christmas song?" Like I was.
The chiming is very.
It was a
Christmassy.
chime, yeah, a couple chimes away from being a Christmas song.
Yeah. What a lot of her stuff does, because the tough thing when it comes to Laufey, and you got to remember that what she's doing is traditional pop music. Like Christmas music is all traditional pop music, right? Old Disney songs, old Disney standards were all traditional pop songs. Like that's kind of like
so she's nailing it.
Yeah,
she's kind of nailing traditional pop, but you got to just remember, like, yeah, it sounds so much like all of that other stuff that sounds like so old because it is.
I mean, it sounded beautifully. I loved it. Like, it opened up, I was like, this is not at all what I was expecting to listen to, but I don't hate it. No. It was beautiful. It was a very nice opening, but it definitely just gave me, I was expecting snowflakes to start falling. Like, I was in December all of a sudden.
For sure. It's just crazy to think that, yeah, you're so, like, you have that so inextricably attached to, like, that style of songs. Or, like I said,
exactly.
Disney, which we talk about. When, like, back in the day when a lot of those songs were even written and then became our Christmas songs that we still listen to today, that was the standard for all of the music. There was a lot of songs that we just never hear anymore that would have had a different, aesthetic to it, different, different content matter, all of that stuff, the way that Laufey's doing it right now. So I don't know if just for whatever reason Iceland has been like a time capsule of old traditional like jazz pop.
It's just Laufey.
It might just be Laufey. But it's just really interesting to like see that she's dredging that stuff back up from the bottom of the ocean. But organically, like for us, we think the exact same two things. Disney, Christmas, that kind of style, because that's the only time we really hear it nowadays.
Yeah, and that's what I'm chalking that up to, because I don't listen to this like outside of being forced in a movie to listen to it.
100%.
And a lot of these, as we go through this, is just gonna be like, I pictured, where does this belong in a movie? And this was definitely like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did really, you put it in the clip, but my one big note on this was that line, "Nothing brings me fear like meeting with my destiny." I liked that line a lot. I do think her vocals and like her lyricism throughout, even though maybe it's a little bit too like on the nose at times, I do like it. I think it's, she does paint a pretty picture, but
I do think that that's kind of, again, also the traditional pop kind of thing too, because again, they were shorter songs, so you kind of had to get everything out there in like a shorter period of time, because the recording back in the day, the recording was also really tough to be able to record certain amounts and certain lengths of time on one track, because you eventually needed to press it to vinyl, then you needed to distribute the vinyl and stuff like that. Vinyl wasn't cheap as like it is now. I mean, now we pay exorbitant amounts for vinyl, but the actual vinyl material itself isn't really expensive. But yeah, just like a lot of that stuff. I do think that her vocals is probably one of the most unique in the solo pop artist world. Like, that's one of my biggest praises that I'll always have for her, is she's definitely the most unique pop artist, one of the most unique pop artists I think out there right now, in terms of sound. In terms of sound. If you saw her next to Chapel Rowan, you're going to know who Chapel Rowan is over. She's very
popularity,
unique.
yeah.
But musically, I think that she's by far the most unique one out there doing pop music right now.
I mean, yeah, you got jazz pop. That's so rare.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anywhere. To the point that she was named one of the Women of the Year because.
Yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, that resume is very impressive, and yeah, I did like the sound of this. It's just it did make me think Mariah Carey was coming next.
100%. Well, you couldn't have been more wrong, because instead we go to Lover Girl, which is, let's dive into some bossa nova, hey?
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Forced to get creative, wrote my feelings down. The independent lady in me's nowhere to be found. I can't wait another day to see you, how embarrassing to be. Love-struck girl, I tease her. her. Thought I'd never be her. Quite the job you've done on me, sir. You've been hosting parties. In my mind, I'm working overtime to have you in my world.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the cadence on this one a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. The rhythm is a lot of fun.
That's bossa
The-
nova.
the
I
cool
mean,
thing
like
about, like,
anybody
the-
who like looks me in the eyes and says that they hate bossa nova music, I'm like, you're a liar. Like, there's no way to feel.
You'll feel something.
If
If you
there's no way to
don't,
feel junky about this song. Like when this starts playing, you're like, it's just groovy.
and I like how the story is kind of cute in this. Once again, the lyrics are a little on the nose, but it gets the point across really quick. It's really cute. It does feel like a montage. To add it to the movie concept, it feels like a montage of the girl getting ready. She opens up the door, and there he is. You know,
For sure.
But it successfully did that really well, and I mean, it's fun to listen to. It's just there's a really good vibe. It almost feels familiar. You know?
Bossa nova is always great. I love it.
Yeah.
My problem with it is it's too familiar because, again, if you listen through Bewitched, the big single off of Bewitched from the start, that was the one that was really big. This is so close to it.
Well,
It's
see, I think that's
so-
going to be the difference between maybe Mel and I versus you, someone that listens to this and very much does
Yeah.
like this genre, versus someone that hasn't heard it as often as maybe you have.
It's like new for us.
For us,
yeah.
it feels
For sure.
familiar, but kind of new.
Listen
For
to
you, it's
From the
just
Start by
overdone.
Laufey from Bewitched, and then listen to this. And From the Start was my favorite track by a long shot off of Bewitched. So to hear it here again, and it just sounds, it's so close. It's so close.
Mm.
The chorus,
I don't know
the
it
chorus
at
is
all.
almost it feels like it's almost note for note in the
Really?
melody. And I was like,
It was
oh.
cute though.
I
You
like-
can't tell me it's not
Oh,
cute.
it's great. It's
Yeah.
great music, but the proximity to the previous single was
That
just
would
I'm
frustrate me, I
oh,
get it.
No,
Yeah.
but it's the same, and it's a really, really good the same, but it's still the same. So I was a little bit frustrated by that, and I was really hoping that we got some more updated material. So I couldn't put this one in my fave, even though musically it's probably one that I absolutely will listen to again. It's just I can't call it my favorite because it already was my favorite 2 years ago in 2023.
It's like
You know what I mean?
we can't keep talking about Noah Khan, you know? It's
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
I
If
can.
Noah Khan dropped a different song called Season of the Twix or something like that,
Twigs,
I'd be like,
yeah.
"Hey, this is weird."
Twig time.
It's still a great.
Twig time.
It's still. Technically, it still sounds great. I agree with that, but it's the same
I'm gonna write a
song.
song called Twig
So
Time.
you can't.
Yeah.
Noah Khan style. I'm doing it.
Mel, what were your thoughts on it?
So yeah, the chorus was a big highlight. The chorus and the bridge were a big highlight for me. I wait by my phone like a high school movie, dream at your shows, you'll come running to me. I really she was just painting such a good picture of when you're in that love mindset, you're just picturing these people, you're picturing that person everywhere. I really liked the imagery she painted. But yeah, it's a fun song. Big fan of the cadences. Yeah, it seems like a fun one to sing along to.
For sure.
I liked the first song. This song, I was like, oh, okay. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I feel like it kicked off the album nicely. It was like a warm up and then something that really fit this style, I feel like.
For sure. 100%. And that takes us into Snow White, where she actually kind of starts to depart from what Bewitched was in a pretty big way. So let's listen to a little bit of Snow White.
I don't think I'm pretty. It's not up for debate. A woman's best currency's her body, not her brain.
Yeah,
Gorgeous.
that was the big line that I obviously wrote down because damn, any woman's gonna relate to that one. This
Yeah.
song put me to go to such a fun, groovy vibe to this. I just instantly got sad.
Yeah, it's
It fit. What was the song that I was talking about? The Billie Eilish song. It fits that
Happier
vibe.
than ever. Or
Yeah, like it was like, man, I
Never
feel
After.
your sadness.
Happily Ever After?
Never After, isn't it?
Never After.
What? Yeah, I'm terrible with names, but like that.
Happier
feeling,
Than Ever.
Happier Than Ever.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Happier Than Ever. Sorry, I'm here.
Yeah, I just it sold me. Like I was like, this is like gorgeous. I feel what you're feeling. Like it's. Like that line is the perfect clip. By the way, that clip is dead on exactly why I love this song, and it continues to be good. But that was the line that was like, that is so well said. Still on the nose, but beautiful.
Well, and that's one of the notes that I had down. So like obviously this is a way more vulnerable side than Bewitched had. So if you like more of this, Laufey, Bewitched might not be the right one for you, because Bewitched again is more traditional jazz standards she's kind of going off of, right? Whereas this is a lot more ballady. I feel like she's gonna have a tough time breaking into these ballads though, because it's really tough. Her vocals are so mature that when she's talking about 26-year-old problems, you know what I mean? Like, and so on the nose in that sense. Like, I find it a little bit disjointing. It's a beautiful song in a very unconventional way because of that. Because it's like, it's
but
just...
I don't think singing about the way she feels as a woman makes it like a 26-year-old matter. I think that's pretty timeless for women.
I think it's the way that it's being described, though, sounds like an immature. It's immature word usage.
That's the on the nose part,
right? It's
the wording, maybe
an immature way of describing it, but her voice is so mature, so it feels feels like this lady who's like come again from like the 40s has shown up to come and tell you about all of these things, but then describes it like somebody who did just graduate university. And it's like,
on what Mel said though is like that is a struggle that like, yeah, I mean, guys get on like self-conscious too and stuff like that, but like not like it's been forced on women, you know what I mean?
No, of course.
So
I get the subject matter. She is talking about the right subject matter. I think just her delivery of it in the way that she songwrites feels immature, when the subject matter and and how her voice sounds is so mature that it just feels like there's a disconnect in between them. There's a gap that just is tough for me to get myself around.
I mean, I think that might be because you know Laufey pretty well.
Yeah, that's also it too.
I loved this. This was a really, really big note on my. I loved this song. I just listened to her
do a bossa nova groove. And
it wasn't interesting.
It was a hard turn
shift, but I like those shifts. I love that shift. I have undiagnosed auditory ADHD, so like when stuff sounds too similar as we go through it, I start to like I'm gone. I don't know what I'm I ended up doom scrolling on Instagram somehow. I don't even know how I got my hand the phone in my hand. It's just it's one of those things. But like this was so pretty, and it caught me, and I was so excited.
Nice, I love it. That moves us into Castle in Hollywood. Speaking of some Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the well-known Castle in Hollywood. Let's give this a listen.
I think about you always, tied together with a string. I thought the lilies died by winter, then they bloomed again in spring. It's a heartbreak, mark the end of our girlhood. We'll never go back to our castle in Hollywood.
Short clip.
It screams Taylor Swift to me. Especially, I think it also doesn't help that Taylor Swift has a song called Invisible String. So the tied together in a string just puts me right into it puts me in a Taylor Swift world, and I don't want to be there.
Because I don't know really any Taylor Swift.
I'm glad you don't, because it took me to Taylor Swift, and I didn't like that. I didn't want to go there.
See, this was one of my favorite tracks, but I don't have that to go off of it. Well, here's the other here's the other big thing too. So you got to remember, so Laufey and her colleague Spencer Stewart are pretty much the only people credited on the whole album. So they're also doing all of the arrangements and instrumentation throughout the whole thing. And this one, musically, the way that they put together all of the music and everything together, I think is gorgeous. I actually really, really love the composition of this whole track. Right? Lyrically, we've kind of still been getting the same thing that we've always been getting, but instrumentally, I think that this album or this track is one of like the best. The fact that it develops over time, the way that it goes all over the place, like I think this is way more mature sounding because of the instrumentation on everything.
I would agree with that.
I will agree with the instruments.
Yeah.
The instruments feel really nice. I really liked this. But yeah, the lyrics are lacking, and I don't know. It's something. There's a disconnect between the vocals and the instrument here for me, and that's really off-putting to me. Like that's something that will throw me off. And I didn't hate this song. It just, I guess after the first three, I was kind of wowed a little bit. The first three, I was like, yeah, jazz pop. All right. And then this kind of almost went, it brought the guitar out, and it was like, I was like, oh, please don't do that. Like, kind of one of those, I guess.
It was different for there to be guitar. Like, there's a couple of tracks on here where there is guitar, and it does feel like it does take away from that trad pop vocal album that I thought we were going to get out of it.
I don't mind the genre blending, but she almost just moves too far away, I think, from...
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't... And the guitar it all makes me think of Taylor Swift.
That's the thing is if you do have that in your back pocket and you just have that song in your brain, it's the same reason why I was so frustrated with Lover Girl, right?
Fair.
Because I heard her already do almost the same song, and you guys like, well, this is great. If I had known Taylor Swift and I heard something similar, I'd probably be like, okay, this is way too coded.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, she might have done it better than Taylor Swift.
I've called other pop girlies out for sounding too much like Taylor Swift. So, like, I'd be amiss to not call that out. So, like, I didn't. And I do actually think I call her out on the other guitar track later on, where I think, we'll go over it when we get there. But, yeah, just as people have come in and out, just like a carousel. Let's listen to Carousel. That's the next track. That's the name of it. That's why I said it. Anyways.
Really threw us for a loop on that one.
My life is a circus. Hold on for all I bring with me. You make me nervous. Take my sincere apology.
That is pretty though. But I don't know. It's just pretty.
I think it's supposed to sound odd, and that's kind of like the point of this, but this does start like a lull in the album for me. And I do think that this song particularly was done on purpose to make it kind of like I'm a little awkward, you know? But it started losing me a little bit here.
It's so like for me, like this is a lot softer, again, less in your face side of Laufey. It's definitely it was a step away from the jazz space of the last two albums and a lot more into very traditional pop. So like that part I wasn't necessarily a big fan. The carousel trope is
overdone,
tacky. Like it just like it's, and then she makes it sound like it is a carousel song. It's a little bit like in your face. Like we talked, like because Mel talked about like the roller coaster being annoying. Basically, like stop picking rides and making it about.
Like,
if you want to avoid the Disney like sound that you're going for, maybe don't make it sound like a theme park ride. That's,
don't make it sound like we're literally at Disney World right now.
Also, turn the speed up a little bit. This carousel's so slow.
And so I liked this jazzy, like swinger version of Bewitched a lot more than this. Like, I'm not saying I hate this. It is what it is. Like, I'm not.
It was a big for me.
But it was just like I do keep thinking about Bewitched because I really want it to be jazzier and swingier, and I just like it doesn't do that. Again, it feels more pop than it does jazzy, and that's what I liked so much about Bewitched is it felt more jazzy than it did pop, and that makes a big difference in all of it. But
it was like a almost miss for me. It's not even that bad. It's just
I feel the same way. Almost miss. Like I'm not going to sit there and be like, "No, I'm never going to hear that ever again." If I heard it again, I'd be like, "No, okay."
Yeah, I wouldn't mind listening to it. There are really pretty parts about it. It's nothing special. unfortunately.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that takes us into where we might have our first discussion.
Yeah, I think
like
Oh,
actual
yeah.
discussion
We'll
with
see
Silver
here.
Lining.
We had a little pre-battle before this.
Let's
We'll
listen
see,
to
though.
Silver Lining.
I've been falling in bad habits, staring into the abyss, drowning in red wine and sniffing cinnamon. We've been kissing on the playground, acting like little kids, making dirty jokes and getting away with it.
Okay, knowing now that you were looking for a jazzier, I understand why you like this one a lot more. And I do, in comparison to the last two clips that we've heard, appreciate this more.
Yes.
So, can I explain our like little pre-battle before we get into this?
Go for it.
So we were looking. I like to keep the lyrics up, so I have Genius up, and I was looking through all the views, and how many people have looked at this particular song, and I thought this song was specifically a strange one to have so many more views. And then Brandito let me know this was the single before the album, so of course it's gonna have a few more views. And so that explained it to me, because I think this, like I said, this starts the lull of the album. I think there's like a good chunk where it's just like, okay, this is a little softer, it's a lot slower, and I know you're gonna love that. But for someone like me, if it's just staying slow, I struggle to stay attached to it. I do like the story that this one tells. It's just a little slow for my ADHD booty.
I also think if you didn't already listen to two slower songs back to back, then maybe you would have. So maybe it's just a pacing on the album
It's the
issue and not an
build
issue
to
with the
this.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally fair. Like it very well could be a placement thing. Because I thought, like, again, this is absolutely my favorite on the whole album. This is
Really?
like without even a
Okay.
question. Like this to me is like a 10 out of 10 song. I absolutely adore this.
It
song.
is beautiful. I'm not
Her
fighting
vocals
that.
play perfectly into this neo soul spot. I mentioned in my description like her reason for writing this album and what her inspiration, what she was trying to do with it, where she wanted to mature and become a lot more human in terms of what she was accomplishing. I think that this song absolutely nails that. It's a more mature version of everything that worked so well in Bewitched. Like this was when you said I don't think that should have been the single, I'm like, it was the perfect single, because this is the pinnacle of what she set out to do with this record. Now the rest of the record was frustrating because I don't know if the rest of the record did what she set out to do. This song though absolutely nailed that. Right?
See, okay, that's you coming in with Laufey already.
Exactly. 100%.
Like a first time listener is gonna, be like, okay, I'm surprised that's the one that people were looking for. And I do think it's pretty. I just, for me, it's not even close to the top of the list.
I'm just surprised because you said that you were listening to a lot of Alicia Cara and stuff like that the last little bit, and this really feels in that same note of some of those songs that I adored off Alicia Cara's album. So maybe it is just placing or just frequency of when it hit for you, because truthfully,
I 100% think that.
I think it's a pacing issue. Yeah.
Because I don't dislike this song. Again, it's just one of those things that just felt like there was a lull. We're in a lull, like we're right in the middle of it.
It does slow down.
And I will also, I don't dislike the song, but at this point, like I don't have it marked as a favorite because it was kind of just like blending almost for me. And now that we've listened to just clips back to back, I hear such a clear difference.
It's not even
close.
But
in listening to, I don't know if I was
just tempo.
Yeah, and I think maybe just like at that point, not to say that I was bored, but maybe I was a little bored, and I just like needed something to shake me back up. And I think she did the song a disservice on the placement on the album at that point because I overlooked it completely.
I blame Carousel.
Yeah, that's actually fair. It's fair to blame Carousel for sure. Because if you're not paying attention because Carousel was just really tacky, you might lose Silver Lining. I think Silver Lining is the
I want to go back and listen to it just standalone.
True highlight of this album. Silver Lining is honestly the true highlight of the album. It just it kind of gets bookend, which we're gonna go into Too Little Too Late, which this is like the biggest lull, I think, on the whole album. So like I do understand what you're saying. Like you are kind of in between two of the worst songs, in my opinion, on the record. So
It was a bad time to put it. If you put Silver Lining before Carousel, I don't think we have this conversation.
Probably. I agree with you.
And then we're gonna yell about having Carousel and Too Little, Too Late together, but we didn't like those songs anyways. Well,
exactly.
We don't know about the next song anyway.
Too Little, Too Late kind of does something that is the most frustrating thing to me. I don't know if you know how I feel about producers.
I don't know how you feel about it. Yeah, like I have my own opinion on it.
Let's go ahead. Let's listen to a little bit of it.
To hear you scream my name, your smile still kills the same. I almost turned around, you chased me to the ground. You asked me how I've been, but how do I begin to tell you I should have chased you across every single state? I lay down my sword for fate, 'cause it's too little, way too late.
The thing that frustrated me with this song, because it's so close to being a top song for me, because I love a build-up.
Really?
I love a build-up
It
so
could have
much.
been.
And I felt like she edged us constantly. I do really love that there's like a what feels like a chorus, but it's not identical. She continues like that storytelling throughout, which I'm a big fan of. And just the bridge gave me a little glimmer of hope where I thought she was finally going to explode, and then she restrained again, and I was just like pissed off. Like I just wanted her to pop off, and she never does. She just pulls it back completely, which I think could be cool, but I wanted the explosion. I liked the pulling back on the choruses, but give it to me on the bridge. I was waiting for it. I wanted it so bad.
I think that's what separates her from all the other pop girls, though, was the pullback. And that's the one thing that I do actually, like, that's the one thing I really appreciated about her, was when she yanked it back away, I'm like, yes, thank you, like, you didn't. Otherwise, it's just going to sound too like Olivia Rodrigo, where every single song is always a build up to this big thing, and then...
I get that.
Right?
But the
So
instrumentals did the Olivia Rodrigo thing.
What's that?
The instrumentals did it, and she didn't, and it felt so disconnected. It was like, you do hear the band, right? They're trying to tell you to go, and she didn't. And she started too high, and they started too low, and then they passed her, and it was just she was just there. It was frustrating. It was like somebody needed to tell her to do it differently, and this is the first like song that I was genuinely frustrated, like just to listen and have her not do any inflection, any difference really, and then you hear like the band's like basically screaming at her to continue, and I didn't like it.
I like the cadence. I like the song structure. For me, it was the production. Honestly, like the production side of it, I think really like missed the boat on this. Like, it was mixed. So I showed the best part, I think, of that song in that clip, like, specifically. It starts off mixed so quietly. Like, her vocals are, like, tough to hear, I find, like, at the beginning of everything. And so, like, I didn't like that part of it. Her vocals are just too confident to, like, take it so far away on the track. The build-up is fun, but it doesn't feel necessary. I feel like it could have been performed regularly for her, and it would come across impeccable. But she tries to do like you were saying, like specifically what you said. You were like, this build up would be cool if you did something with the build up, or don't do it and just perform it regularly, and everything would have been fine.
There you go.
I agree.
That's where the disconnect is, though.
Yeah.
See, like you wanted it to be like kind of like lay down, you know, let it ride out, let her do her thing. I wanted the opposite. I wanted her to go with the music, and it like the fact that they did one and not the other just didn't work.
For sure.
It sounded bad. I don't even want to be mean about it. It just was not good, and it was frustrating. Like I wanted to I was like, let me do it. Like it was like just you gotta match the band, and the band was like not there. So whether you want to take it your way or my way,
It needed to pick a
didn't
side,
like
though. It needed to pick a
Yeah,
lane.
exactly.
It couldn't sit in the middle of it. Her vocals are her biggest strength. I felt like this made her vocals seem like a weakness. And it just seems really, it's like, it was frustrating. I literally wrote that I'm mad at her and Stewart on the production side of this one because they tried to do something cool with it, and I can appreciate that. I think they should remaster it and like take a different approach to it and fix the volume leveling or whatever it is that you need to do as you go through. Like it needed something to adjust it in one way or the other. It didn't hit.
Agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
It was so frustrating. This was like one of the hardest listens because I was like, this could be so good. If you
I was really close to loving it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I think Mel's saying is like, this could have been great. And it was so frustrating that it was just the opposite.
Well, the nice thing is right afterwards, you get a little break to think about it. And maybe go grab popcorn because this is literally the intermission of a Disney movie. So
yes.
Let's go ahead and give it a little listen.
Too long.
Maybe. Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
He wants us to feel, or that everyone to feel exactly what we felt.
Which is weird. Confused a little bit.
Yeah, this was weird.
It's like a 3-minute intermission too. It's like a long interlude.
It's a big interlude.
Yeah,
especially after being frustrated. All I'm doing is thinking about the last song. I'm like,
and it's just like, how about this ballet? And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And the whole time I was like, why does this also sound familiar? But I was like, oh, she's just literally pulling from songs all over the album and stringing it together. Like,
that was weird.
I mean, like,
weird.
It feels like a Disney short that just like popped up in the middle of it. And I mean, as far as interludes go, I can promise you that it's the most unique I've ever heard. There's no other interlude in the world that sounds like that one.
I guess so. Yeah, I do feel like I'm in like Beauty and the Beast. I don't know.
I did
like
one of those old like Disney animations of like a swan going across a lake. That's exactly what I felt like.
And there would be like a black swan, and that would be the whole point. Would be them like figuring out and like chasing each other
across
when the
plucks come in.
Yeah, across the pond. Well, yeah.
That's like exactly what it felt like. But yeah, and that might be a reason why going forward Disney's going to get brought up a lot here.
If I may say, I think I'd probably take this over the weird interludes that Miley Cyrus tried to put into her last album.
Yeah, I love Miley, so it's hard for me to talk about that.
But her last album was so obnoxious.
I know. I love Miley, and it's hard for me to talk about that.
What Garrett is saying is, I agree with you, and I don't have the heart to say it.
I love you, Miley.
So cool interlude, Laufey. I guess
it was just so unnecessary. Like, we didn't need to stop. We didn't need it.
I did right. I'm like, I does feel like this interlude might be taking us, like, transitioning us to a different place on the album, which would be really cool if it did that. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
Yes, because then we get to Forget Me Not.
It doesn't really end up doing that. No. So then we go into Forget Me Not, which just we won't after that 3 minutes we got to enjoy. Let's listen to Forget Me Not.
Hold up your chin, deep breath in. It's alright. Here I begin missing him. It's my plight. Nothing worth having has come to me easily. I've sacrificed
very cinematic.
Oh,
yeah, it felt so theatrical. It was like, and after the interlude, it was just not what I needed to get me back into the album.
I do.
She
like
sounds great.
Yeah,
sounds
it's not
amazing.
bad. It's just
when you
again,
start throwing
bad
in
placement.
woodwinds,
Yeah.
though, like it definitely starts to feel more orchestral than it does like a pop
Yeah.
album, right? Which is
Yeah.
obviously where I think, like I said, with Garrett, like you make pop music, and so like this feels like so diverted away from what you would probably call pop music at this point because of that kind of spot. This comes from a way darker place. There's a lot of substance in her songwriting here, which is kind of the more annoying part. I think some of her best songwriting comes at the times when the actual musicality of the track isn't the best.
I would agree.
Right? And so like she never I think Silver Lining is the one place where she actually hits both. And that's like that's the one thing that I do really, really strongly go with. Again, the mix was really rough on it during the verses. Her vocals are very far back again, and that's really frustrating.
Yes. It was like maybe take a second take on that. Like it was interesting. Like they were off.
Yes, but then the chorus it came through way cleaner and crisper. Like her vocals are her demanding attribute. So like when you mix them and gatekeep her voice behind again what sounds like a Bambi movie, like it feels
It's weird.
odd. It feels really strange to do that. You're keeping her from showing her most identifiable attribute, and like that's like it's annoying. It's frustrating.
It
The second
downgrades it to a cinematic like montage. That's what it breaks it down to. Like this is after they break up. Like it's
Or when Bambi's mom dies.
or that too. That I guess.
Just open up the movie.
But-
Sad.
It's just it missed. Yeah, like I don't know. Yeah, like I agree. Her voice is incredible, but it seems like a lot of the times it gets downgraded because of the way they went about the style, and it loses me. Like especially again, bad album placement again because I'm already like half
You're
asleep
out
from the interlude.
Yeah.
And then they throw this at us.
For sure. I feel like this is the big draw to her being like a new jazz revivalist for a lot of people was her vocals. So to do it differently, I think is kind of hurtful for the brand. So some of these tracks I do think are going to hurt. Some of them I think are going to do fantastic, and I think they're still going to be what they are. But like that's why I started to get really frustrated, like getting into these songs on this album. I started to get really annoyed. Like that's the biggest thing. That's why I said please listen to Bewitched, because I can assure you guys are going to really enjoy Bewitched because it does all of those things.
There's enough here where I would want to go back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like with the Alabama Shakes thing, when we were doing the singles, I liked the single. But it had enough.
But you can recognize where there is greatness.
Love the single, but
there's something there.
Yeah.
Luckily, I do think that this takes a little bit of a adjustment going into Tough Luck.
Thank God.
Let's go ahead and listen to some Tough Luck.
Are you tired? I can tell that you're tired. Your eyes turn gray. You beg me to be silent. You said I can't read your mind, but I'm reading it just fine. You think you're so misunderstood, the black cat of your neighborhood. Tough luck, my boy, your time is up. I'll break it first. I've had enough of waiting till you lie and cheat, just like you did to the actress before me. Ooh, she doesn't even know you won't be missed. I'm glad to see you go.
This was my favorite.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised, and we've been yelling about album placement this whole entire time. The reason that this one is your favorite is because
it wakes me back up
in order. Yeah, this shit was like, oh, because it starts off kind of slow, and then all of a sudden it picks up and you're like, that's beautiful. Love this. Great song.
Yeah. Also, like the line "waiting till you line cheat," just like you did to the actress before me. I was like, dropping his cheating secrets in like one of your singles is such a boss move. Like pop off queen. I love that so much.
On the nose again though. Like there's no like imagery
works.
or anything to like. She just said it.
Yeah, it's just like straight up. Nah, you're a lying, cheating scumbag. Oops, did she not know? Oh well, she does now.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love that petty shit, man. So yeah, I think I would, regardless of placement. The placement was huge. It needed it to.
We needed
back
this for
up.
sure.
But like, regardless, I think I would have liked the song. And there's a very dramatic bridge, and I love a dramatic bridge.
Yeah, this was another one of my favorites. I like that it is a little bit swingier. It has a little bit of that jazz influence, and then that specific guitar note just was like really plucky guitars on it. It was really new to her sound. Like she really doesn't incorporate a lot of guitar to it. This felt like less of a bedroom pop crossover and more of a modern pop sound. So I liked that part a lot from her. This was like a perfect example, in my opinion. If her responsibility is getting a new generation to listen to Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday, then this is a perfect example of specifically that. It's like, cool, like here's the transition between, you know what pop music sounds like. Now this is like that 50-50 of traditional pop. Now, if you like the way that this moves into this section, the rest of the way you can handle from there, listening to, Ella, listening to Billie, listening to those artists. If you can make it to this point, you can make it the rest of the way, right?
Yeah.
And I think that this does it perfectly for that reason.
Much more like digestible, much more approachable for someone getting into this style. And man, did it wake me up. I can remember too, like when we were listening, I was kind of laid back on the couch after the last like 4 or 5 songs, and like this one came on, and as soon as I got through that first little part, and I was like, the guitar really picked up and her voice picked up, and I was like,
I'm alive.
I like this. I literally, I think that's all I said. I was like, I like this. That was my big comment, but it got me back awake. I was ready. I was like, and I do feel like this is where it picked up. The lull is over, and I'm so happy it's over.
For sure. 100%. I'm right there with you. Because that moves us into a cautionary tale, which again is still different, but let's listen. We'll describe it out.
Oh heavens, hear my story, a cautionary tale of how I came to be loved and how it came to fail. A first time for lovers, a first time in agony. The truths you will uncover will knock you on your knees.
Now you've like edged us because the chorus is so fun. The chorus really pops off here, and you're just like, nah, we're gonna stop right before it.
Can we bring up Disney now? Oh,
this is like
this is where the Disney conversation starts. Really,
isn't
for me.
Disney. It screams Bridgerton ballroom dance scene where the protagonist realizes she's been with the wrong dude the entire time, and they finally end up dancing together. And like now it's just, I don't know. It screamed Bridgerton for me, but this was the kind of like cinematic or theatrical that I found fun. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that in a bad way, but like that's what prevents it from like making a playlist for me. Is like it's a little too theatrical for me, but it's not like it's badly done. It's like it's a very nice song, and I enjoy it, and it's just that's what stops it from being like an everyday listen, I guess.
What I do like about this track specifically, this is obviously a lot more of a kind of a folksy kind of take on her more traditional pop sound that she has. It's another chance for her to explore the genre bending that she can do, right? She's trying to be adventurous. This is a good example of her not letting herself being pegged to a certain sound, which when you listen to pretty much all the way through Bewitched, it does sound very conventional, very similar all throughout the whole album. This sounds very unique in terms of the whole album, right? It's a completely different style, completely different sound. I wish a lot more pop artists were trying to do something like this. So many pop artists, frustratingly, they don't want to try to create dimensions, or they try to create a dimension just by following somebody else's style entirely. And that's like one of the biggest qualms that I have with pop music nowadays. So you got artists that are in the habit of making the same thing over and over again. Listen to Ed Sheeran over the last 4 albums, and you will hear the same thing over and over again. He doesn't try to do anything outside of what he knows how to do. You know what I mean? Or they dash to try to recreate somebody else's sound, and they lose their own individual style altogether. Where Laufey, I feel like, holds onto her own. I'm talking about like the Tate McRae's. I'm talking about Chapel. Honestly, I think Chapel absolutely abandoned her own style.
I think you're talking about most people, where inspiration becomes legitimately you. You take things that you're inspired by, and you have just become that instead. Yes. Like, and I personally have fought that so many times when I'm making music. It's like I hear a sound and I'm like, man, that sounds a lot like this, but cool, they inspired me, but is it too much like that?
Exactly. It's about trying a genre bend and maintaining your style with the genre bend. Like, who do you sound? Somebody who I thought did it really tastefully is like Miley Cyrus when she had released like songs like Flowers and that kind of stuff. Like that I thought that sounds like Miley Cyrus. That is her, but she's genre bending. She's moving to a different area and still making it sound like her stylistically. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I think Laufey does that really well on this track. I see so many pop stars that aren't doing it. So this wasn't my favorite song by any means, but at least she's trying to do something, and she's trying to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm. I don't really have complaints for this song, but I do feel like it becomes a cinematic, like Mel was saying. It is perfect for like a Bridgerton dance scene.
Yeah, I picture the movie scene in my head instantly, but it's fun.
I can see the ball.
If this was Broadway, you're right. Like this is when like she falls in love with like this silly doofus person.
The
you know
best
what
friend
I mean?
she was supposed to be with the entire time.
Exactly. Or like I don't know, what is the channel that always has all the weird like one-off Christmas movies?
Lifetime?
Hallmark.
Or like the Lifetime or Hallmark movie.
Lifetime, Hallmark, yeah, the same thing. I think
we nailed it. Yeah, we got both of them.
100%. But then we're not going to fall asleep again after this, because we dive right into Mr. Eclectic. Which, I mean, take it for what it is.
Let's go.
Let's listen.
But you think you're so poetic, quoting epics and ancient prose. Truth be told, you're quite pathetic, Mr. Eclectic, Alan Poe.
She's such a savage for this. I loved it.
Talk that shit. Let's go.
This was fun.
I laughed really hard at this in a good way.
Yeah.
It was funny. Talk about also one of those songs that will, if you're a pop fan and you've never touched anything with like jazz pop, this is funny. It'll laugh. You'll be like, okay, I can get into this. Super fun. I understand why it's where it's at in the album. I wish I had it earlier.
Yeah,
I would have been more sold earlier, because this is funny. I laughed. There's so much personality in this. It was also pretty fun. A little bossa nova. Why not?
Yeah. I love bossa nova, so like, I'm gonna like this no matter what. Bossa nova is like, would I listen to an entire bossa nova album? No. If you're willing to throw a bossa nova song on your album, though, I'm like, that's gonna be one that I enjoy no matter what. My assistant, who's now making music and stuff like that, my friend, I could say now, but my old assistant, he left and he's making his own music, but like he's put out albums, and he's just like, I always throw like one bossa nova song on it. He's like, I can, and like it feels fun to do. Every single time I record a bossa nova song, it takes me like a couple hours, because it's really not difficult. Like I don't need to come back to it multiple times. He's like, I just throw together a bossa nova song, throw it in there, and everybody's happy about it. Like, I had a good time making it. Everybody had a good time listening to it. Like, it never hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So, it's always fun. Again, this is a more mature, so on Bewitched, there is a couple more bossa nova grooves on that album. This, I think, is a more mature version of her bossa nova stuff that she's put through. But yeah, this was kind of above par for a lot of the songs that I think on the album, and right down the field of what I was kind of hoping for after listening to Bewitched and moving into this one. So yeah, this was a good song.
Mm-hmm.
If I was complaining about one thing, it goes back to what you were saying earlier is, she has this mature sound, and this does feel kind of like a younger 20s issue.
No.
Yeah.
Like telling you're a little boy. But it's not really a
Men
complaint
are
for me.
acting like little boys, Garrett.
I am a man-child all day. Wait, sorry. Wrong
Yeah, different
album.
that's... It's okay. Like, it's really fun. This was such a fun song. It is one of my favorites from the album. I loved this. It was funny. It was fun. It had such a cool vibe. Once again, familiar-ish. Even if you're not familiar with the genre, you get it. It's there. I liked it.
Cool. And then we dive into what I don't have here right now, which is Clean Air.
Oh,
It's,
no. That's
It
sad.
smells so bad here right now. I'd love to open a window, but like I can't.
Oh, I just
I'll
got
start
your
joking.
joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
wildfires.
Anyways, let's
Canadian
listen to Clean Air.
wildfires.
Yeah, that was completely out of context for anybody listening or watching
Completely
this. Like,
over my head, too.
if you guys aren't paying attention enough to hear it, like the people that I didn't tell about it beforehand that are watching this will be like, that was a weird thing to say. It's really smoky where I am right now, and I'm dealing with bad allergies. So
Canada's on fire.
yeah, Canada's on fire again. It happens. Let's listen to some Clean Air.
Sweeter pastures wait for me like
I knew it.
my soul has suffered. Get the fuck out of my atmosphere. I'm breathing clean air. Went through an x-ray. Doctor said there's nothing left to see now. Nothing weird or scary, although somehow your heart turned back to gold.
I put, ooh, folky twist, but I knew the second I heard it, I looked at Garrett and was like, Brandito's gonna hate this one.
So what happened is, like, this was another moment. It's like, I like this, and Mel's like, good, because Brandito's gonna hate this.
I'm so mad. Stop.
Everything he hates that the pop girls are doing right now, he hates.
You know what this reminded me of, though? It very like a Studio Ghibli movie, because everything ends up being very cinematic in this, and this reminded me of like a Studio Ghibli movie where like they're opening up the movie, like a Whispers of the
You're
Wind
traveling, you see some landscape. Yeah.
they're doing landscape and stuff like that, and I was like, this is
Or
that's
they're on a
I love
train,
this.
you see the train crossing like in front
Yes,
of the mountains.
100%.
It's
That's
fall,
exactly what it
everything's
is.
orange and yellow.
Well, I'm colorblind, but I assume it probably is. But it is really, yeah. There's something about it that I loved a lot, and I think it's because I'm like a massive Studio Ghibli fan, and like I love those kind of things. And
Do you want to know what it reminds me of?
yeah, I can't wait. Actually, I just wanted to
Every
get the
single
positive.
other girl in pop doing a country song on everything.
It doesn't feel that way though for me. Like The Giver, like let's just throw The Giver out there, because that was just like, wow, this is just like cut and dry country. You didn't even try to make it your own at all.
What I will say about this track compared to a lot of those other ones is this one, again, the one thing that I talked about when it came to like Ed Sheeran, Chappell Roan, and Tate
Yeah,
McRae
it still sounds like Laufey.
This still sounds like Laufey. Laufey's
There you
voice
go.
is so unique that she can kind of get away with it in a lot of ways, because it doesn't sound like she's just completely departing what she is. I don't mind, obviously I like folk music, and this feels, again, more folk than it does stadium country, too, which it's not just stomp, stomp, clap style country music, which would have probably been something that I absolutely despised. This is country,
It's
but
just
like
a little twang.
it's like she went from the 40s to like the 60s country, as opposed to like going from like the 40s to like 2014 country when I was at Big Valley Jamboree, and you know
Carrie
what I mean, like
Underwood-
listening to
Underwood was popping off.
Brad Paisley. Like it's not going all the way there. So I do find like this is a little bit more charming than a lot of the girls who have gone the country direction. But still, I'm so annoyed with it. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm so sick of the trend. I just want the trend to stop.
I just feel like it was a little different.
It was
a
fun.
little
I liked
It was a little different, and she still sounds like her. I'm not gonna bash this one as much as I could.
It could have been worse.
Could have been so much worse, and I know how much worse it could be because we're gonna cover another album where it almost gets.
And I'm sorry, it's probably not gonna stop because as soon as I heard this, I liked it a lot. So
I did too. I went.
It does
"Ooh,
speak to a
fuck."
certain listener.
I know.
It's just not you.
Because if you listen to it happen 100 times a month, you'd also get annoyed with it. I
get that. I get
No.
that. Like, but I like The Giver. I heard too much. That's why I brought that one up because of a certain somebody.
I love that song. Still
But
do.
you know, like it was like man, this is the, and I think somebody made a really good point on this. I can't remember who did, but if this was just a regular country song without the name, you would have hated The Giver. Because it was just really, really blanket, awful country. And
I just can't think of another like lesbian country artist who would have like even released it though.
Brandy Carlisle.
it's not the point though.
Brandy
It's just-
Carlisle.
you got to take the person away from it. Does this sound?
I don't
right?
think she's
just the ear is not
cunty
the brain and the
enough.
heart. You know,
Like,
did
you
it
need-
sound right?
The Giver gave enough cunt that I love it. Like it's
Ugh.
It's not a
And
good
you
song.
know, either way.
It's fun.
But this was very.
But yeah,
light.
this didn't do that.
It
This-
did fit like a genre that I'm familiar with in like the cinematic world. With it, like it does have that Studio Ghibli vibe, and I liked it. I didn't hate it. It's not my favorite. It's not my least favorite. But somewhere in the like area.
Katie Lang.
Oh,
Sorry,
you're
I'm
just
still
looking up
thinking-
lesbian.
You can't just
country
Google
stars?
that and then throw names out. We
Listen,
watched you
I'm like,
Google
no, I'm
that.
like, there's no more. Katie Lang was one that I was like trying to think of because I'm like, Katie Lang for sure could have probably pulled that off. But it still would
Popular
have been
lesbian country artist.
Yeah. Congratulations
I
on
needed to
your
check
new
it out.
algorithm,
I
by the
needed
way.
Although that being said, on this list it actually has Chapel Rowan on it. So
I mean, yeah.
this is
She's from the Midwest. It counts.
Google singers / country music / lesbian.
Yeah.
They spelled country wrong.
It also has Sinead O'Connor and Tracy Chapman. So which I wouldn't necessarily throw into country in any way, shape, or form. But Katie Lang was the one that I was thinking of. I'm like, there's somebody
Okay.
in particular that I know would probably go here. But regardless, finally, we get to close out the track. Now that we can stop talking about Chapel Rowan, who has nothing to do with this, but we are going to be able to talk about country music for no reason.
Again.
On the next album. Really, right away. Don't worry. We'll get there. But let's listen
He's like
to...
tweaking out. You're tweaking out.
I'm going to lose my mind. Let's listen to Sabotage to close out the album.
Matter of time till you see the dagger. It's a special of mine to cause disaster. So prepare for the impact and brace your heart for cold, bloody, bitter sabotage.
It's so pretty for such an angry girly. Like, she's so mad at this one, but it's still so pretty. Like, yell. I want her to yell.
I remember getting like 2 minutes into this song and going, "This was the perfect way to end this album." It was wonderful. I like this is such a high point for me. To end on that note is a great thing too, because that's where you want to be. Because there's parts of this song where like I don't know if it's a fiddle or a violin or whatever. They get in there and they're just like they just.
It sounds like a train breaking. Yeah.
Yeah, they purposely
Oh,
make you
yeah.
uncomfortable, but that's the like the name of Sabotage is perfect for this. And it's like almost like, this is my album. I'm gonna throw it away. It's great. I loved the mentality of it. It's so
Yeah.
good.
I agree. I love the way that she sounds over just a traditional, just her and a piano together, I think is remarkable. I love that. It's the perfect kind of ballad for her. We can hear her vocals, which was the part that I didn't like about some of the previous tracks. So like this was a big part on me on this. And the way that it opens up at the very end of this track was like her, but it was sorry, I should say I liked it. It was very unlike her, but like a really interesting turn. Like I used interesting purposefully because I didn't know whether or not I was like all the way in on it or not. But like in hindsight, honestly, I'm still liking the way that it all turned out. It does feel like a proper conclusion to the whole album, and I like that a lot. And I did mention, I mentioned the jarring strings in between that brief
great.
chorus, and I was like, this is cool. I'm like, whoa. Mm-hmm. Just a quick like head snap. Okay, it's
I was like, oh,
music's
shit.
still playing.
She sounded so beautifully. Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Sabotage. It's great. I was. This was a very good high point for me, and to end that way,
nice
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Solid closer.
Cool.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, how did we feel?
In conclusion, I thought she had incredible vocals, a lot of fun songwriting. I love a fun little petty bitch. And a lot of fun cadences, but everything like overall felt like too Broadway or Disney, I think, for me to listen to on a regular basis. But there's still like a few in there that were big highlights for me that I will keep. I'll keep them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get her. Like I get the vibe. I get like I feel her music. I guess I do think the lyrics maybe are a little on the nose, pretty much throughout the entire album, but it really does tell the story well. And her voice is so fucking beautiful that it doesn't even matter. Like it's so wonderful. I get her. So she gets me. I'm kind of sold. I will go back and I will listen to the other stuff.
Nice.
As you were suggesting. Yeah, I think this is a very good step for the genre, basically doing the genre's work for her. Like that's what she did
for sure, 100%. Like I'm a fan of Laufey. I unfortunately think there were some really aggressive low points on this record.
Yes,
because of some bad mixing. I think was one of the biggest things that I think just could be critiqued about it. I think she did accomplish her task of wanting a more vulnerable human album than before. But I think there was moments where she accidentally just let herself, who is the reason I came back to this album, just really kind of like fall into the background of some of the songs, which was frustrating for me. I also feel like some of my favorite tracks and what I think will be one of the strongest received tracks on the album almost directly copies her previous work, which, again, go back and listen, and then if you listen to the other song, I swear on my sweet life, you'll understand. She does, however, jam like a really strong showing of her diversifying her sound a lot. For better or worse, I think. Sometimes it's worse the way that she tries to do it. But like, some of her best showings, like Silver Lining, in my opinion, which for me, who is such a big fan of Bewitched, says a lot that's like one of my favorite songs by her in general now. Like it's just, it's gorgeous. I think it was a really, really cool way to do it. I hope she buys into the maturity of those tracks specifically on her next project. And I think that like she'll thread the needle with like what she does best and like what she wants to progress towards. I think that there is like going to be a kind of a next step for her. And I think that's where it is. I think this was the experimental part where she could try a couple of different things, see what sticks, and then she can dive into that next area, seeing kind of where people are reacting, what are people enjoying a lot on this track or on this album, and be like, cool, that's where I'm going to progress towards. She tries a little bit of everything, and she's going to be like, something's going to work. And I think that this was her figuring that out. So I think we're going to see a little bit more of that R&B neo soul style that Silver Lining is as she moves forward, especially when everybody's listening to it, like you so casually mentioned. But numerically, how did that leave you, Mel?
I gave it a 7.2.
Okay, I think that's
still.
I think that's
I have
reasonable.
a lot of respect, but I like. I want something more.
Yeah, I get you. G.
Well, I came in here a lot higher than that, actually. I came in here with an 8, and I was gonna kind of see how like re-listening to the clips and hearing what you guys had to say kind of sway me, because I'm not gonna do a solid number. I'm not doing that. It's either gonna be in 7.9 or 8.1. That's it. And honestly, re-listening to it, some of the songs I thought maybe I didn't like as much, I liked more. So I'm gonna go 8.1.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah. See, for me, it was a 7.6. Like it was just, like I said,
I did not think I'd be the highest on here.
if you were to get, like, Bewitched for me was like in the 9s. Like that's how much like I really enjoyed that, and this did feel like it was just separated a little bit farther away from Bewitched that kind of dropped it all the way back. But again, I do think her next album, because of what I think she was trying to accomplish here with this, I think her next album is going to be another like in the 8s, 9s section for me, because I think she is going to dive into the things that worked here that were the separation from Bewitched. Like this is feels like an intermediary of what her next step is. So.
Yeah.
I do think the big difference between me as a listener and you as a listener here is, one, you knew Lawful, but two, the immaturity
You
things
keep
talk
calling her
about.
lawful.
Laufey. I got that in my head.
You liked her a lot more than to call her Law.
He keeps saying
she's
that.
law great. Not lawful. Laufey. I keep doing this. New artist for me. Sorry. But I think the major difference, though, is one, you have a history and you had expectations.
For sure.
I had none.
Yeah.
Two, though, I kind of enjoyed the immaturity, though, and the big thing that I remember from today is that what Mel said is that's okay. You can be a 40-year-old woman with 20-year-old problems. It's okay.
Well,
like we
I
all
also
deal with
just
these
think, like,
issues.
Yeah, like women at all ages are still dealing with those issues.
Yeah, and I don't know how old Laufey is, to be fair.
I think she's young. Yeah, she's young.
26. So she is young. Like,
Yeah.
but she's got a very soulful voice.
Yeah, she doesn't
beautiful,
sound
old-
26 at
No,
all.
not even a little
Yeah.
But that's like Hosier. Like Hosier just got such a beautiful, deep voice and stuff like that. And
She's 26, but she's been doing music for 22 years. So I think that also has a big play to do with it, right?
Well,
So-
yeah, 4 years old
Yeah.
on piano, but like.
Yeah, like
like that's a huge part of it. Like, and when you're classical, that's just gonna naturally happen.
Yeah.
When you're in jazz and stuff like that. But that I kind of liked the immaturity aspect of it. If I had to complain about anything on this album, it's really
Pacing.
The imagery is, well, maybe a couple songs, but the imagery is a little spot on. It's a little like,
Too on
I'm
the
just
nose.
gonna tell you what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's fair.
Which is cool, but at the same time, it doesn't have that cool artistic touch without that,
I getcha.
little illusion.
Cool. Well, that was another album cover by, On Beat Off
Us.
Script. Yeah. Do you agree with us? Do you hate us? Do you hate us because of what we said about things? How do you feel about Bossa Nova? Have you made a Bossa Nova song? Send us Bossa Nova. We're really kind of Bossa Nova people, it turns out. Let us know. Please hit us in the comments. And make sure you like, subscribe, do all of those things, because it's the best way to find out when we drop new content is to literally get it pinged to your phone. Yeah, check us out there. But otherwise, this has been another one. This was Matter of Time by Laufey. I'm Brandito. This is my co-host, Mel. And our guest, TipsyTune. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Mwah!
Bye.
Oh, we kissing? Mwah.
3, 2, 1.